So Massachusetts Chapter 1 adopts me. I'm not sure if it's for the dignity or what it's for, but they adopt me when they have ceremonies and times here, and it's my privilege. I'll confess I ride on four wheels, though. That's why they don't adopt me. It's my privilege to introduce Dave Emery, the president of the Red Knights International Firefighters Motorcycle Club.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I need to firstly say thank you to all of you that has made this trip this morning. Very special thank you for a job well done to our police escort, and we're proud to have you here with us this morning. Thank you. This is going to be brief, and when we get done with this, there's food and crumpets and trumpets and all of that to share with each other. And I believe, Don, it's in the Hoyt building. In the Hoyt building after that. And as you depart, certainly I want you to all ride safe. With this, I would like to take a moment and introduce a few of the people. Here with us is the International Vice President, Chris Gadway. There you are. Okay. It's the small guy over here on my right. The International Secretary, Bill Popeye Snodgrass. The International Quartermaster, Kent Armstrong, and his assistant, Joy Ellis. It is with sad heart that brings us all here today, but with respect and pride that we stand here and honor our 343 lost brothers, sisters, and families for a total of 2,993 souls. On that fateful day of September 11th, 2001, now 10 years have quickly passed by, and we are here now to show that we will never forget. The placing of this piece of steel from the World Trade Center at our place of honor here in Boylston. A note on the steel: this steel has been inventoried and identified by the Federal Building and Fire Safety Investigation of the World Trade Center disaster in the National Institute of Standards and Technologies. The numbers that you see painted on the side, C-149 and N-176, are identification numbers that was used during the investigation. We are told that this particular piece is a floor joist truss support that was in the impact area between floors 94 and 98 of Tower 1. At this time, we are under the impression that the Red Knights are the only motorcycle club that has received an artifact. At the risk of not mentioning people, and those of you who have been a huge part of this, I apologize. But there are a few people I do need to recognize. First of all, again, all of you in your chapters, and 10,000 Red Knights across the 13 countries. To make this a memorable event take place, a great deal of coordination and a special thanks have to go to Mass 1, Don Parker Jr., who made the trip to New York City on Thursday. Excuse me. Who made the trip to New York City on Thursday to help us retrieve this. Also, without a doubt, Tom Case and Rich Powers, who were the coordinators for the escort. And it was well done, Tom and Rich. Thank you. Also, Chaplain Dave, we appreciate you as our adopted brother, and there's no difference. You're one of us. There is a person I would like to single out, though. This process took over 2 years to get it to where it is today. The International Treasurer, Bill Snodgrass, through conversations Yeah, he wants to be the treasurer. He's striving for that because he likes the checkbook. The international secretary, and I apologize, I'm sure I'll hear about that before the day's over. But Bill worked tremendously hard, and he brought this concept to a reality. Applying for a piece of steel, as we all might think, is a relatively easy process. How many New York chapters do we have here? Anything in New York is not easy.
Getting here.
Yeah. So with that, he worked tremendously hard with phone calls, letters, emails, and just a few of the contacts that it took. The 2-year process was the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, the Office of the World Trade Center Artifact Project, the Manager of Special Projects, Office of the Chief Operating Officer, of course the Law Department, Office of Public Affairs, and the Office of the Executive Director. That's just to mention a few. Because it goes on, as you know, this is a criminal incident, so it went to the U.S. District Court, Southern District of New York, and of course, with part of it with the Atlantic Central Logistics. And, of course, the Art Preservation Service. That's just a few of that he's dealt with over time. This has been a trying time. Unfortunately, we're at kind of a whim where we had to do things on other people's timelines that we couldn't set. And today was one of them that we picked, and we did the best that we could. So, Bill, on behalf of nearly 10,000 Red Knights, I want to personally thank you for a great job that you've done to get us here. And when we arrived here this morning, Bill said to me, "It's home." And I think that says it all. This project is intended to be in 3 phases. Phase 1 was to apply, receive, and transport the steel to Boylston. Phase 1 is completed. Phase 2, the Memorial Committee will come up with a design and install the artifact, and that committee and that work will begin now. Phase 3 will be a dedication where we will ask all of you all to come back one other time and invite you here for a dedication and an unveiling of the complete design. So with that, I'm going to end and again say thank you. Have an extremely safe trip home. It's the beginning of the riding season if you're from New England, and it's the end of the riding season if you're from other places. But again, thank you, and I appreciate everything.
Like the other Dave, I'm sure I'll miss somebody, but we did want to thank State Representative Harold Naughton, who's here to join us representing the Commonwealth of Massachusetts today. One of my colleagues, Chaplain Father Peter Preble, chaplain from Dudley, who I think started the blessing at the beginning of the ride in Massachusetts this morning, and then handed it off to me when he got here. But it's good to have another friend here too. For our Canadian visitors and members, I think it's remiss if I don't say soyez les bienvenus, bonne visite et bonne route. De rien. I won't try to pray later in French. I speak it well, but prayer is pushing my limits. We'll stick to English for that. I'd like to ask you now to please stand to attention and gentlemen uncover as we play the national anthem of Canada.